If a man be lucky, there is no foretelling the possible extent of his good fortune. Pitch him into the Euphrates, and like as not, he will swim out with a pearl in his hand.
Okay, so that's quite the proverb to start us off today.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, it's pretty vivid image, right? Someone being tossed into the Euphrates, and instead of, drowning, they emerge with a pearl.
Definitely speaks to that kind of universal human desire for good luck.
Right. We all want to be that guy swimming out with the, unexpected treasure.
Exactly. And it's that very concept that we're diving deep into today.
That's right. You and I are exploring this age-old question, how to attract good luck.
And not just in a, vague, wishful thinking kind of way.
No, we're going straight to the source, ancient Babylonian wisdom.
Yep. This time we're drawing from The Richest Man in Babylon, the goddess of good luck.
As you know, that book, it's not just about wealth, but also about the mindset and actions.
Right, those principles that can lead to a prosperous life.
And it's fascinating to see how the Babylonians tackled this question of luck. They were just as curious as we are today.
Oh, yeah. So, to really set the scene, imagine this.
Okay.
In ancient Babylon, you have these obvious centers of power, the palace, the temples, right?
Makes sense.
But alongside those, you also had this unique temple of learning.
No, that's intriguing.
It was a place, a hub, where people from all walks of life could come together to exchange ideas.
Ah, like a public forum for knowledge and wisdom.
Exactly. And within this temple of learning, we find Akkad.
Ah, the richest man in Babylon.
One and only, he's known for hosting these informal gatherings in the evenings.
Kind of like intellectual salons, I guess.
Right, exactly. A place to discuss and debate important topics.
That sounds lively.
And in the excerpt we're looking at today, the conversation is sparked by a seemingly simple event.
Okay, I guess.
A cloth weaver, he shares his recent experience of finding a purse full of gold.
Talk about a lucky break.
Right. And that's exactly what prompts the big question of the night. How can one attract good luck?
Makes sense. It's like everyone's thinking, hey, I want some of that.
Exactly. But right off the bat, there's disagreement on how to even approach the question.
Oh, so even back then, there were different schools of thought.
Absolutely. Some in the gathering believe it's pure chance,
Just random luck of the draw.
while others say, no, it's the goddess Ashtar. She favors some and bestows luck upon them.
So right from the start, you have this tension. Is it fate, or can we influence it?
Precisely. And that's what we're going to be unpacking today. What did the Babylonians conclude about attracting good luck?
Okay, so where do we begin?
Well, their first instinct is to look at those obvious ways people hope to get lucky.
Like winning the lottery or something.
Well, yeah, in their context, the first thing that comes up is finding lost treasure.
Like our lucky cloth weaver.
Exactly. But Arkad, he quickly points out that none of them have experienced anything similar.
So relying on that kind of luck, finding a random fortune, it's not a reliable strategy.
Definitely not. It's presented as this exceptional, almost unbelievable event.
Okay, so what's next?
The conversation then turns to something a little more familiar.
Let me guess, gambling.
You got it. The gaming tables.
The classic place where people try to test their luck.
Right. But even the guy who brings it up, this young man, admits he hasn't had much success.
Oh, sounds like he's learned the hard way.
And Arkad's response is really interesting.
What does he say?
Well, he kind of breaks down the math that probability is involved.
Okay, so he's taking a logical approach.
Yeah, he uses the analogy of a cube, with 6 sides.
Come following?
And he points out that in most games, the chances of losing are 5 out of 6.
Right, so the odds are already against you.
But then even if you win, the payout might only be 4 to 1.
So even when you win, you don't really make up for all the losses.
Exactly. That's what he means when he says the gamekeeper has the advantage.
The gamekeeper is basically guaranteed to make money in the long run.
Right, because the odds are in their favor, whereas the players, they face a huge disadvantage.
So takeaway number 1, don't rely on systems designed to make you lose.
Right. It's not a sustainable way to build wealth.
Makes total sense. So are they saying any form of risk is bad?
Well, Arkad goes on to question whether wealth gained through gambling even has lasting value. Interesting point. He observes that none of the truly successful men in Babylon got their start at the gaming tables.
So it's not just about the odds, but also the mindset.
Yeah, it makes you think about how we view success today.
Definitely. Are we focused on quick wins or building something solid?
And following the gambling discussion, someone brings up horse races.
Ah, another classic form of betting.
And the suggestion is that maybe the goddess influences the outcomes.
So you could win if you're in her favor.
Right, but Arkad, he pushes back on this idea too.
He doesn't think the goddess cares about horse races.
He portrays her as being concerned with more worthwhile endeavors, things that actually benefit society.
So good luck isn't about random bets.
Exactly. He's implying that the goddess rewards those who are deserving, not just lucky guessers.
So there's this link between your actions and the favor you receive.
Right. It's a subtle shift from pure chance to the idea of merit.
Okay, so if it's not about finding treasure or winning at games, where does this good luck come from?
Well, Arkad then turns the conversation towards business.
Makes sense. That's where he made his fortune.
He starts by saying that profitable transactions could be seen as a reward for effort.
Okay, that's logical. You work hard, you make a profit.
But then he introduces this really intriguing concept. Successes we almost enjoyed.
What does he mean by that?
He's talking about those missed opportunities, the deals that almost happened but didn't.
Ah, like the one that got away.
Exactly. And he frames these near misses as potential instances of escaped good luck.
So it's not just about actively chasing luck, but also recognizing where it might have been.
Right. It's about being aware of those moments when success was within reach, but we didn't grasp it.
Okay, I like that a lot.
And to illustrate this point, an elderly merchant in the gathering, he shares a story from his younger years.
I love a good anecdote.
Oh, this one's really relatable. So this merchant's father, he had learned from his own mistakes, you see, and he really wanted his son to avoid those same pitfalls.
Wise fatherly advice.
Right. So he urges his son to invest 1/10 of his earnings in this promising land development project.
What kind of project?
It involved constructing water wheels to irrigate herb patches.
That's pretty innovative for the time.
It was, and the father, he truly believed in the project. He had this vision of his son building an estate through consistent investment.
It's about thinking long term, right?
Exactly. But the young merchant, he hesitates.
Oh no, why?
He's tempted by the immediate gratification of buying new robes, the latest fashions.
Oh, I see. He's prioritizing short-term pleasure over long-term gain.
And that's the classic struggle, isn't it? We all face that.
Hey, we've all been there.
Wanting the shiny new thing now.
And what happens? Does he regret it?
Of course, the land development project, it becomes hugely successful.
Oof, that's gotta sting.
The merchant is left with this deep regret for not listening to his father.
It's a powerful lesson about the cost of inaction.
Right, letting that desire for instant gratification overshadow potential long-term rewards.
I'm feeling that one.
But then we hear a different perspective from a swarthy man of the desert.
Okay, this should be good.
And he basically says, building anything substantial, any estate, it starts with a single step.
No matter how small.
Even if it's just buying one calf like he did.
So it's about taking that initial action.
Exactly, moving from just earning a living to having your resources work for you.
Making that transition to investing.
Right, and that's where the potential for real growth lies.
It's about building something gradually.
And then the Syrian stranger, he chimes in.
This guy always gets straight to the point.
And he calls the merchant a procrastinator, plain and simple.
Ouch, but he's not wrong.
No, he's highlighting that opportunities often require swift action.
You hesitate, you might miss out.
And to further illustrate this point, he tells another story, another missed opportunity.
Bring it on. I'm ready for another lesson.
So this one involves an animal buyer who gets locked outside the city gates after dark.
Yeah.
Not the best start.
And he encounters a farmer who's desperate to sell his flock of sheep.
Okay, why so desperate?
His wife has suddenly fallen ill, and he needs money for her care.
Oh, that's tough.
It is, and he's offering his sheep at a really good price.
So it's a potential bargain for the buyer.
A golden opportunity.
Yeah.
But here's the catch.
There's always a catch.
It's dark, and the flock is huge, like 900 sheep.
Okay, so counting them accurately is going to be a problem.
Exactly, and the buyer, he's hesitant to pay up front without knowing the exact number.
Understandable, but is that his only reason?
Well, he also seems to lack trust. You
Yeah.
know, he doesn't fully believe the farmer's word.
So a mix of practicality and maybe some skepticism.
Right, and despite the farmer's pleas, he refuses to even pay a portion up front.
Even with the offer of the farmer's trusted slave to help count in the morning.
Nope, he's stuck in his ways.
Oh boy, this isn't going to end well.
It doesn't. So the next morning, the city gates open and news arrives.
What news?
A siege is imminent.
Oh no, that changes everything. It does suddenly. The demand for livestock skyrockets.
I believe food.
Exactly. And other buyers, they come rushing in, willing to pay almost 3 times the price.
And our hesitant buyer, he's left kicking himself.
Big time, he missed out on a huge profit, all because he couldn't act decisively.
It's like a double whammy of procrastination and lack of trust.
Right. And it leads to some insightful commentary from the others.
I'm all ears.
So the saddlemaker, he offers this wisdom. When you know a deal is good, you gotta act fast.
Don't overthink it.
Exactly. He even suggests putting down a deposit to protect yourself from your own wavering judgment.
It's like he's saying we need safeguards against our own indecision.
Right, because we all have that tendency to second-guess ourselves.
And what about the Syrian stranger? Does he have something to add?
He does. He sums it up perfectly. He says both of these missed opportunities were caused by procrastination.
Plain and simple hesitating instead of acting.
And the animal buyer, he has this moment of self-awareness. He realizes procrastination is his downfall.
He's finally seeing the pattern in his own behavior.
And he talks about how he had to consciously break free from that habit.
It's like he had to retrain his mind.
And the elderly merchant, he agrees. He says he, too, had to conquer procrastination to achieve anything.
So it's this recurring theme, overcoming that inner resistance.
Right, and it all leads to Arkad's final thoughts.
What does the wisest man in Babylon have to say?
Well, he confirms that overcoming procrastination is key to lasting success.
I'm not surprised.
He's observed it over generations, people missing out on opportunities simply because they hesitated.
The wisdom of experience.
And then he turns back to the cloth weaver,
Yes.
the one who found the gold.
Like the lucky guy.
And it's clear his understanding of good luck has completely changed.
How so?
He no longer sees it as this random thing that just happens.
But something you can influence.
Exactly. He now understands that good luck comes from recognizing and seizing opportunities.
That's like a light bulb moment for him.
Right. And Arkad reinforces this by saying both the merchant and the animal buyer, they would have experienced great good luck if they had acted decisively.
It's all about taking action.
And then he delivers this powerful line, good luck can be enticed by accepting opportunity.
I like that.
He's saying the good goddess, she favors men of action.
Those who are bold and decisive.
And his final message is this, action will lead thee forward to the successes thou dost desire.
It's a call to action, literally.
So to sum it all up for you, our listener,
Yeah, let's break it down.
according to the Babylonians, good luck isn't about random chance or waiting for some divine intervention.
It's about taking control.
It's about recognizing opportunities when they arise and acting on them decisively.
And crucially, overcoming that urge to procrastinate.
Exactly. We all have that tendency to put things off, but that's what holds us back.
So true.
So now we want to turn it over to you, our listener.
Yes, think about your own life.
Are there any opportunities you're currently aware of?
Are you seizing them or are you letting them slip away?
And here's a final thought, to ponder those times when you hesitated, when you let an opportunity pass you by, what might have been the outcome if you had acted differently. What pearl might you have swum out with?
A powerful image to leave us with.
Because ultimately it's up to each of us to become those men and women of action
To create our own good luck.
and achieve the successes we truly desire.
I think that's a great place to end it.
I agree. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
As always, it was a pleasure.